Hello and welcome to Hot Topics.
Harvey Weinstein due back in court for hearing ahead of retrial. New York, AP. Harvey Weinstein is due back in court in New York on Wednesday for a hearing ahead of his retrial on sex crimes charges stemming from his landmark Me Too case. Among other things, Judge Curtis Farber is expected to address a request from prosecutors to consolidate that case with a newer charge into a single trial. The former movie mogul was already facing retrial on 2 sex crime charges after the state's highest court overturned his 2020 conviction earlier this year. Then in September, he was hit with a new charge accusing him of another assault. He has pleaded not guilty. Weinstein was convicted on charges, since overturned, that he forcibly performed or *** sex on a TV and film production assistant in 2006, and **p in the 3rd degree for an attack on an aspiring actor in 2013. In the new charge, prosecutors say he forced or *** sex on a different woman in a Manhattan hotel in the spring of 2006. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office has argued in court filings that holding separate trials would be extraordinarily inefficient and waste judicial resources. Prosecutors said the cases have significant overlap as they involve similar criminal statutes, witnesses, expert testimony, and documentary evidence. Weinstein's lawyers have argued in court filings that the cases should remain separate. They said prosecutors are attempting to expand the scope of the court-ordered retrial and transform it into an entirely new proceeding by including the new charges. There's also the question of when Weinstein's retrial is expected to actually begin. Faber had tentatively scheduled Weinstein's trial to open on November 12th, but both defense lawyers and prosecutors have voiced concerns that the date won't give their side enough time to prepare. Weinstein has been in custody at the city's Rikers Island jail complex and has faced numerous health complications while behind bars. He was also convicted of **PE in Los Angeles in 2022, though his lawyers have appealed. The sexual assault and harassment allegations against Weinstein turbocharged the Me Too movement in 2017. The 72-year-old former producer co-founded the film and television production companies Miramax and The Weinstein Company. He produced such films as Shakespeare in Love and The Crying Game. Arkansas dad accused of killing man he found with daughter. Defense lawyers for an Arkansas father accused of fatally shooting his 14-year-old daughter's suspected stalker will likely get charges against him reduced, according to an expert. Aaron Spencer, 36, reported his daughter missing last Tuesday, and Lonoke County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to his home. But on their way, they learned that Spencer had found his daughter in 67-year-old Michael Fossler's car, and that the father had shot the other man dead in the ensuing confrontation. Spencer was arrested on a preliminary charge of first-degree murder, a Class Y felony, and booked into Lonoke County Detention Center. He was released the next day after posting bond. Spencer's wife, Heather, wrote on Facebook that Fossler had a no-contact order with her daughter for stalking and **ping the 14-year-old over the summer, and that she and her husband feared Fossler might kill her. Before the confrontation on Tuesday, she said, she and her husband were unaware that Fossler was again in contact with the minor. We absolutely called 911 during the entire event, she wrote. We had no idea this man was in contact with our child again. He was waiting 6 to 9 felonies for what he did, not 2. He was looking at the rest of his pathetic life in jail, and our daughter was the only witness. Brian Claypool, a California-based attorney who has worked on child sexual abuse cases, told Fox News Digital that if Spencer is charged with first-degree murder, his attorneys have several arguments that could significantly reduce or even eliminate potential time behind bars. 1 dead, 12 wounded in Oklahoma City Halloween party shootout. A Halloween party in Oklahoma City became the scene of a deadly shootout that killed at least 1 person and wounded a dozen others early Saturday morning. City officials said the incident included at least 13 total victims and is being investigated by local police detectives. Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt confirmed 2 adults have been arrested in connection with the mass shooting. Authorities said recent shootings in our city fit a familiar pattern. Young men, boys really, making terrible decisions with grave consequences, the mayor said in a post on Facebook. Boys whose brains are literally still forming don't always respond rationally to the things that would deter you. And 2 shooting victims are hospitalized in critical condition, police told Coco TV. Authorities have not identified the deceased person, but said the victim is male. The shootout occurred at 12:30 a.m. CDT at an event center in southern Oklahoma City after two groups of attendees began arguing. Several people began shooting while outside of Patty's event center and continued shooting after the argument spilled outdoors. Oklahoma City Police Captain Valerie Littlejohn told reporters the Halloween party had no security staff and no suspects have been arrested, but the OCPD detained several people for questioning. Colorado gold mine ordered to cease and desist tours after fatal elevator malfunction. Colorado officials ordered the Molly Kathleen gold mine to cease and desist operations on Wednesday, about a week after a tour guide was killed and 23 people trapped underground when an elevator malfunctioned. The Colorado Division of Reclamation, Mining and Safety sent a cease and desist letter dated Wednesday to Dennis Lanning, the owner of the tourist destination near Cripple Creek, ordering him to stop all tours and restrict all public access to the mine, except to local law enforcement and other government agencies, according to a Thursday news release. One mine employee, 46-year-old tour guide and Victor resident Patrick Wire, was killed on October 10th when a mine elevator malfunctioned while lowering 11 people down the shaft. The group in the elevator was rescued a short while later, but 12 people already in the mine were trapped 1,000 feet underground for nearly 7 hours. October 10th was one of the mine's last days of the season, according to Teller County officials, and mine owners on Friday announced on the company's website that the facility would be closed until further notice. The mine is prohibited from reopening until the Division of Reclamation, Mining and Safety completes a review of the operation, state officials said in a news release Thursday. Previous inspection reports for the Molly Kathleen gold mine were satisfactory before the elevator malfunction, with no observed violations or hazards, state officials said. It was last inspected August 29th. In the news release Thursday, state officials noted the Molly Kathleen gold mine is the only Colorado tourist mine with an elevator, and that the tourist mines have excellent safety records. The incident is also being investigated by the U.S. Occupational and Safety Health Administration and the Teller County Sheriff's Office. 16-year-old girl vanished. Her body parts in freezer of Colorado home. Body parts found in a freezer have been identified as belonging to a 16-year-old girl who went missing almost 2 decades ago. Officers from the Mesa County Sheriff's Office made the gruesome discovery after responding to reports of a suspicious incident in January of this year. Upon arrival, deputies found the head and hands of a human had been discovered in a freezer by someone who arrived to claim the free appliance, which was being offered by the new owner of the recently sold home. On Friday, the Mesa County Coroner's Office released the identity of the victim as Amanda Lirial Overstreet, following DNA testing. Overstreet was thought to have been around 16 years old at the time of her death, but had not been seen or heard from since 2005. The DNA records show that Overstreet was the biological daughter of the previous owner of the home. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance remain under investigation, as well as ongoing forensic testing of evidence. There is no record that Amanda Overstreet was ever reported missing, according to the Sheriff's Department. The teenager's death is now being investigated as a homicide, and the rest of her body has not yet been found. In a follow-up post on Friday, the Mesa County Sheriff's Office emphasized that the home where the body parts were discovered is now under new ownership and is completely unrelated to the previous case. The house was purchased, fully remodeled, and sold to the current owner, the department wrote on X. We urge you to respect the current owners and their neighbors' privacy and avoid driving by the home or taking photos.
Since 1986, The Independent has campaigned for what we believe in, not what we are told to believe, with integrity, inclusion, innovation, and independence as our guiding principles. Subscribe for more major news.